Now, Ephesians chapter 5, verse number 3, Bible says, there should be no hint of sexual morality or impurity or greed. Greed. I wanted to mention about greed. Paul is saying there should be no hint of greed, where people are after a cause or anything that will benefit them and not other people. Greed is where you do things or you acquire things in excess at the expense of other people. Things that will even help you, but at the expense of others. Maybe you're eating a lot when others are supposed to eat, taking more for yourself. Paul is saying there should be no hint of such. He's also saying there should be no hint of obscenity. That's verse number 4. Nor should there be obscenity. Obscenity. What is obscenity? Obscenity is when we do things that are strongly against the current or prevalent moral structure, the morality that is there, the acceptable code of conduct. Anything that you do that is against the moral standards of a place, or the morality now of the Bible, then it becomes obscene. They say, Paul is saying there should be no hint. But these things are there, they're happening in our congregations. Here, Paul is also saying that there should be no hint of foolish talking. Who is a fool? A fool is someone who does things that when we perceive them with the knowledge that is there, we realize that either they are ignorant or they are not ready to do what they know is okay. Now, foolish talking is abhorred, foolish talking is unwelcome, is undesirable. Any talk that is undesirable, unwelcome, it is irritating, arrogant, ignorant, and insensitive. That's foolish talking. Paul says there should be no hint. He says again, there should be no coarse joking. Coarse joking. Now, coarse joking, this is where you speak things that should make others laugh, but you go to an extent of using a language that is again obscene, a language that demeans people, a language that attacks their physicality, it attacks their body structure, it attacks their thinking pattern, it attacks their personality to an extent that those who listen, they laugh, but again, some are just looking down. They're saying that one is beyond what should have been said. Have you ever heard people joking, or have you ever seen people who started joking normally? They're making jokes to one another and they are laughing, and all of a sudden they are fighting. What was the reason? They started with normal joking, normal jokes, it was a kawaida. But all of a sudden, one person went too far, which irritated the other person. Now, because the other person wanted to defend themselves, and they have no coarse joke to return, or if they also return a coarse joke, then it becomes now a fight, and they may go to physical fighting. Paul also says that there should be no impurity, that all these things amount to impurity. sexual morality, greed, coarse joking, foolish talking. And now greed takes so many things. Obscenity. He says, rather thanksgiving. Rather we should entertain thanksgiving. Why? For, verse number 5, for of this you can be sure, no immoral, impure, or greedy person, such person is an idolater, has any inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and of God. That any greedy person, impure person, people participating in all these things we've mentioned, that these people are idolaters. Meaning foolish talking, coarse joking. They've been amounted to idolatry. And that nobody in such character, in such group, will see the kingdom, will inherit the kingdom of Christ and of God. And of God. But there are those who are encouraging this character by using empty words. Or we are in the dispensation of grace. It's true. 1 John chapter 2 verse 1. Bible says, dear children, I'm writing to you so that you do not sin. That this word we are being given so that we don't sin. But John says, if you do sin, we have an advocate with the Father. Remember, now your case will have to be argued. Now why should you sin so that your case can be argued by Jesus? If you can cultivate the word and avoid. Because verse 6 says, let no one deceive you with empty words. For because of such things, God's wrath comes on those who are disobedient. The wrath of God is coming. Or it has already come to some already. Therefore, do not be partners with them. So there are those who will disobey. We are saying let there be no hint of these things, but they will disobey. We are being asked, let us not be partners with the disobedient who are walking in the things that Paul is saying are impure. God bless you.